Jack Harlan gripped the rusted key in his calloused fist, the cabin door creaking open like a warning. His German shepherd, Rex, bolted past him into the dim interior, hackles raised, a low growl rumbling from deep in his chest. Jack froze in the doorway, his seal instincts firing. Something was wrong here, buried in the shadows of his grandmother Eleanor's forgotten mountain retreat. Dust motes danced in the slanted sunlight, piercing the grimy windows of the Colorado cabin, high in the jagged peaks above Willow Creek. Jack had driven up from Denver that morning, the inheritance papers still crisp in his truck. Eleanor had passed quietly in her sleep 6 months back, leaving this place to him, her only grandson. No one in the tight-knit town below had set foot inside since. He stepped over the threshold, boots thudding on warped pine floors, Rex's snarls echoing off the walls paneled in faded, knotty pine. Rex pawed frantically at a section of the floorboards near the stone fireplace, nails scraping wood with urgent precision. Jack knelt, heart rate steady but elevated, scanning for tripwires or traps, old habits from overseas ops. The board lifted with a splintering crack, revealing not rot or vermin but a metal box sealed tight, half buried under decades of sediment. Rex whined, nose inches from it, refusing to back off. If you're hooked on this mystery already, hit that subscribe button, like this video, share it with a friend and drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from tonight. Jack pried the box free, its weight surprising him, solid, like it held more than papers. He carried it to the kitchen table, a scarred oak relic under a single hanging bulb. Rex paced, eyes locked on the D, while Jack fetched a knife from his pack. The latch gave way with a snap, and the lid swung open. Inside, stacks of yellowed envelopes bound in twine, a leather ledger, and photographs curled at the edges, dozens of them, faces Jack didn't recognize, posed stiffly in front of the very cabin he now owned. He flipped open the ledger first. Pages filled with meticulous handwriting, Eleanor's no doubt, columns of dates, names, dollar amounts, thousands upon thousands, funneled through anonymous accounts, dated back to the 1950s. Not inheritance money. This was something else, inflows from sources listed only as initials, JM, RK, deliveries noted with times and mileages from Denver. Jack's mind raced, piecing patterns. Eleanor, the sweet widow everyone in Willow Creek adored, baking pies for church suppers. This hinted at shadows. The photos spilled out next. Men in suits, women in fur coats, all smiling too widely, arms laden with crates stamped with faded logos, whiskey distilleries out of state. One snapshot showed Eleanor younger, vibrant, standing beside a rugged man with a scar across his cheek, both holding what looked like deeds to land Jack knew the town had long claimed as public. Rex nudged his leg, breaking the trance as if urging him deeper. Jack spread the envelopes across the table, slicing one open. Letters poured out, typed on heavy stock, urgent tones masked in formality. The shipment arrives Friday. Burn this after. Signed by senators, mayors, names that made Willow Creek's history books glow with civic pride. Eleanor wasn't just surviving up here. She was the nerve center, brokering deals that shaped the town's underbelly. A chill traced his spine. What had she hidden from him all those summers as a boy, fishing these streams? He pocketed a few photos, resealing the box, but Rex wouldn't settle. The dog circled back to the fireplace, digging anew at the hearthstones. Jack shoved the table aside, kneeling again. A loose stone shifted under Rex's paws, revealing a narrow chute descending into darkness, an old root cellar maybe, but reinforced with modern steel bars, invisible from above. His flashlight beam cut through the gloom, shelves lined with more boxes, identical to the first, plus ledgers stacked like bricks. Climbing down the ladder, muscles taut from muscle memory, Jack's beam swept the space. Not root vegetables, sealed crates, padlocked, labels peeled away. He pried one open, glass vials, shimmering with iridescent liquid, stoppered tight. Experimental? Medical? No markings, but the dates matched the ledger, 1960s, peak of Cold War whispers in the Rockies. Eleanor trading secrets. His grandmother, the one who taught him to whittle wood by this fire, entangled in something that could unravel reputations. Back upstairs, Jack paced the cabin's single room, Rex shadowing him. The town below, Willow Creek, population 800, prided itself on clean air and pioneer grit. Mayor Harlan's great-uncle had founded it, or so the plaques said, but these documents whispered otherwise. Jack grabbed his phone, signal faint, snapping pics of the ledger pages. Who to call? His old SEAL buddy in Langley? No, too soon. This was personal now. Dusk bled through the windows as he built a fire, flames crackling secrets into the night. Rex curled by the hearth, but his ears twitched at every creak. Jack pored over a letter from J.M., James Morrow, the town's revered banker, dead 20 years. Your discretion saved us all. The cabin remains neutral ground. Neutral for what? Smuggling routes through the passes? Payoffs to keep federal eyes away? Sleep evaded him that night, sprawled on Eleanor's feather bed, revolver under the pillow. Force of habit. Dreams fragmented. Choppers over mountains. Eleanor's smile cracking like the floorboards. Dawn broke sharp, Rex barking at the door. Jack rose, muscles coiled, peering out. A pickup truck idled in the clearing below. Dust settling. Two men from town, Pete Grayson, the hardware store owner, and his son, staring up at the cabin, binoculars in hand. Jack waved them off, but they climbed the trail anyway, faces etched with unease. "Heard you got the keys, Jack," Pete called, voice carrying on the thin air. "Folks are talking. Eleanor's place ain't been touched. Need a hand cleaning?" Jack met them at the porch, Rex at his heel, posture straight as a rifle barrel. "Appreciate it, but I'm good." Pete's eyes flicked past him into the shadows. "Your grandma was salt of the earth, helped my pa through hard times." Lies layered thick, Jack sensed. He nodded, shutting the door firm. By noon, he'd hauled a crate upstairs, cracking it wider. Inside the vials, not potions, but concentrated essences, rare minerals, logs noted as shipped east for processing. Uranium traces, whispers of government contracts gone rogue. Eleanor's notes detailed assays, values skyrocketing through the 70s. Willow Creek sat atop veins the town fathers had buried deep, leasing secretly through her. He drove down the switchbacks that afternoon, Rex riding shotgun, box of photos on the seat. Willow Creek's main street hummed with Saturday traffic, diner packed, kids on bikes. At the library, old Mrs. Tate arched a brow. Jack Harlan, back from the service? He slid a photo across. Eleanor with the scarred man. "Who is he?" Her face paled, lips thinning. "Don't stir that pot, boy." "Your grandma was private," but her eyes darted. Guilt, fear. Jack pressed. "Town history. Help me out," she whispered. "Folks say he vanished after a deal soured. Left debts. Debts that Eleanor covered, piecing the puzzle." Back at the cabin, tension coiled tighter. Rex alerted again, this time at the tree line. Shadows moving, too deliberate for deer. Jack swept the perimeter, spotting boot prints fresh in the mud. Someone had followed him down. He rigged tripwires by the chute, silent sentinels. Night fell heavy, stars pricking the ink-black sky. Jack sat vigil by the window, ledger open. A name jumped, Harlan. His own line, tangled in Eleanor's web. The mayor's kin, paying hush money. Rex growled low. Headlights pierced the dark. Another truck, slower this time. Jack chambered around, breath even. Whatever Eleanor hid, it wasn't staying buried. The town would crack before he did. If this tale's got you on the edge, smash subscribe, like, share with your crew, and comment your guess. What do you think Rex uncovered? Stick around for the twists ahead. Jack stepped back from the warped doorframe, his breath steady, despite the knot twisting in his gut. Rex pawed at the floorboards again, nails scraping like whispers of forgotten secrets. The dog's low whine cut through the cabin's heavy silence, insistent, pulling Jack closer. He knelt, running callous jers along the seam where wood met wood. A faint give, almost imperceptible. Years of training kicked in, methodical, unyielding. Pry bar from his truck outside, back in seconds. Wood splintered with a sharp crack. Beneath, a hollow space yawned, dust swirling like ghosts in the flashlight beam. Rex dove in first, nose buried in shadow. Jack's beam caught it, a metal box, rusted edges gleaming dully. Locked. He wedged the bar, muscles coiling. The latch gave way with a reluctant snap. Inside, stacks of yellowed envelopes tied with faded ribbon, and something heavier, a leather-bound ledger, pages brittle as autumn leaves. He flipped it open, columns of numbers, dates spanning decades, names he recognized, local families, the sheriff's kin, even the mayor's father. Payments, large sums, marked settled in Grandma Evelyn's precise script. But the notes, scribbled in margins, cryptic warnings, references to the vein and deep claims. Mining? The mountains held old veins of quartz and rumor, but this felt deeper, tangled in something unspoken. Rex nudged his leg, eyes locked on Jack's. The dog had never acted like this, not in deserts half a world away, not through sandstorms that buried men alive. Jack's pulse quickened. He pocketed a single envelope, sealed the box, and hauled it out into daylight. The town below sprawled like a patchwork quilt, oblivious. Driving down the rutted road, gravel crunching under tires, Jack's mind raced. Evelyn had raised him summers here, stories of hardy folk carving lives from stone. Never a word of debts or shadows. Why hide this? He pulled into Milford's single diner, the box thumping onto the counter. Bess, the owner since his boyhood, poured coffee without asking. "Rex found something up at the cabin," he said, voice level. She glanced at the box, her smile fading. "Best leave old things buried, Jack." "Your Gran, she kept to herself for reasons," he pressed, names from the ledger. Bess's hand trembled on the pot. "That was before my time. But folks talk. The old Harlan claim, your great-granddad's mine, collapsed years back. Men went in, didn't come out easy. Folks said it swallowed more than rock." Jack's grip tightened on the mug. Not just loss. The ledger hinted at payoffs to silence questions. Evelyn covering tracks. He thanked Bess, left a tip, and headed to the library, a squat brick building housing Milford's archives. The librarian, Mrs. Hale, peered over glasses. "Evelyn's boy. Back for good? Researching family." He slid the ledger across. Her eyes widened, flipping pages. It's the vein ledger. Rumors said your Gran held it. The mine wasn't just ore, something richer, hidden. Government men came sniffed after the war. She bought silence." Jack leaned in. "What was it?" she whispered, glancing at the empty room. "Not gold, papers, maps from the 40s, secret sites marked for protection. Town elders hushed it, feared outsiders." Rex growled softly at the door. Jack's seal instincts flared. Footsteps outside, deliberate. The sheriff, Harlan Brooks' distant cousin, pushed in, hat in hand. "Heard you were poking around, Jack. Cabin deeds are clear, but old mines. Tricky." Jack stood, box under arm. "Just settling inheritance." Brooks's eyes flicked to the ledger. "Some inheritances bite back, drive safe." Night fell as Jack returned to the cabin, Rex pacing. He spread the envelopes on the table. Letters from a man named Victor Kane, postmarked from D.C. "Evelyn, the vein holds the key. Bury it deep. They can't know." Photos clipped inside. Evelyn young, arm in arm with uniformed men, mountains behind. A knock shattered the quiet. Brooks again, alone this time. "Need to talk, cousin." Jack opened the door, Rex at his flank. "About the ledger?" Brooks stepped in, face grim. "It's more than that. Your dog scratched up what we all buried. The vein wasn't ore. It was a drop point, war surplus, stashed post-war. Evelyn guarded it. Town profited quiet-like. Now outsiders whisper, hearing your back." Jack's world tilted. Grandma, sentinel of secrets. Not criminal, but protector of a fragile peace. "And if I walk?" "You won't. Blood calls." Brooks's hand hovered near his belt. Tension coiled like a spring. Rex bared teeth, hackles up. Jack's training surged, position, assess, act. But this was family, twisted roots. If you're hooked on this unraveling mystery, hit that subscribe button, like share with friends, and drop a comment. What's your theory on the vein secret? More revelations coming right up. Dawn broke cold as Jack faced Brooks across the kitchen table. "Show me the mine." Brooks hesitated, then nodded. They drove twisting roads, Rex in the truck bed, wind-whipping fur. The entrance loomed, a jagged moor boarded over, vines claiming it. Brooks pried planks free, flashlights pierced gloom. Deeper in, air thickened, echoes amplifying breaths. Rex led, nose to ground. They reached a chamber, walls veined quartz glinting, but in the corner crates, stenciled faded army markings. Jack pried one, not weapons, but documents, sealed tubes. Blueprints, coordinates etched in dust-covered paper. 40s drop, Brooks murmured. Evelyn's father hid it from scavengers. Town used scraps to rebuild after the flood, kept the rest for leverage. Jack traced a map, sites nationwide, marked assets. Leverage against what? His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Thornton Fed's been tracking that cabin deed incoming. The chamber closed in. Betrayal layered on secret. Grandma's legacy. Guardian or gatekeeper? Rex barked, shadows shifting. Voices echoed from the entrance. More men. Jack grabbed a tube, sealing the truth. Run or reveal? The choice carved deeper than any vein. Brooks drew his sidearm, eyes conflicted. Family first? Not like this. Jack moved, swift, disarming with precision. Rex lunged, pinning Brooks. Cuffs from the truck, ironic justice. Sirens wailed distant. Jack fled upward, crates whisper haunting. Town shocked. It would shatter when Feds arrived. But Evelyn's will burned clear. Protect the vein or unleash it. Back at the cabin he burned select letters, buried the ledger anew. Rex sat vigilant. Dawn's light promised no easy peace. The dog had unearthed more than metal, a fracture in trust, binding Jack to shadows he'd fight alone. Whispers spread already. Milford buzzed. What next? Only the mountains knew. Jack gripped the cabin's porch rail, knuckles whitening as Milford's pickup trucks rumbled past below the ridge. The dog's low growl echoed from the fresh-dug pit behind the woodshed, where rusted metal glinted under the fading light. A lockbox, pried open now, spilling yellowed envelopes and faded photographs. Not treasure. Secrets. His grandmother's handwriting looped across one, for the day they come asking. The town had eyes everywhere. Old Man Hargrove, the mill owner who'd eyed the property for years, led the whispers. He'd shown up that morning, feigning concern, his boots tracking mud across the threshold. Heard your mutt hit pay dirt, Jack. Gran keep anything valuable up here. His smile never reached his eyes. Jack had sent him packing, but the fracture deepened. Trust eroded like the cabin's weathered logs. Sheriff Lena Voss pulled up next as dusk settled, her cruiser kicking gravel. She wasn't one for small talk. Folks are talking buried contraband. You a SEAL, Jack. You know how rumors ignite. She scanned the yard, gaze lingering on the disturbed earth. Jack met her stare. Trained for worse than county busybodies, but this wasn't overseas. This was home soil, laced with family ghosts. If you're watching from somewhere around the world, hit that subscribe button. Share this with a friend who loves a good twist and drop a comment. Where are you tuning in from tonight? Voss stepped closer, voice dropping. Your gran bought this land cheap after the war. 45. Folks said she had connections, city money sudden-like. Jack's pulse steadied. He'd served 2 tours in shadowed valleys, reading threats in silence. Now, the lockbox contents burned in his mind. Deeds to properties long sold, notes on debts owed, a single photo of Gran with a man in a sharp suit, Hargrove's father. Leverage, blackmail fodder from decades past. He invited Voss inside, the cabin's pine scent thick against the chill seeping through cracks. Rex, the dog, paced at his heels, hackles raised. Jack spread the papers on the scarred table. Not contraband. History. Voss leafed through, brow furrowing. This ties Hargrove's mill to falsified sales. Your gran held the proof. She straightened. He'll want it gone. Night fell hard in the mountains, stars piercing the black like distant gunfire. Jack barred the door, rifle cleaned and loaded, not for show. SEAL instincts hummed. Assess, adapt, endure. Sleep evaded him. Footsteps crunched outside at midnight. Rex barked once, sharp. Jack peered through the curtain. Hargrove alone, flashlight beam dancing toward the pit. You hid it well, boy. Hargrove's mutter carried on the wind. He knelt, digging with gloved hands, unearthing a second box, smaller, mist in the chaos. Jack slipped out the back, silent as mist. Shadows cloaked him. He circled wide, breath controlled. Hargrove pried the lid. Inside, more photos, a ledger page listing kickbacks. Grand's insurance. Hargrove froze as Jack's voice cut the dark. That's family business. The mill owner spun, face paling under the moon. She owed us. This land. It's mine by right. Lies cracked under pressure. Jack stepped forward, rifle low but steady. Rights don't bury secrets, explain. Words tumbled then, Hargrove's facade crumbling. His father had swindled veterans post-war, cheap land grabs. Grand discovered it, confronted them, held the evidence to protect the hollow. A pact formed, silence for silence. But Hargrove Sr. passed it down as grudge. She hoarded it to spite us. Now the town's mill is failing. Those deeds prove nothing legal stands. Tension coiled. Jack saw the man, not the threat. Desperate, cornered, echoing his own post-discharge haze. No shots fired. Instead, words as weapons. Burn it all. But leave the cabin. Milford needs truth, not your version. Hargrove hesitated, then nodded, flames later flickering from his truck bed as he drove off. Dawn broke grey. Voss returned, official now. Heard Hargrove confessed at the station pre-dawn. Voluntary? She eyed Jack. You didn't persuade him? A ghost of a smile. Mountains persuade themselves. The town buzz faded by noon. Whispers turned to nods at the general store. Grand's secrets aired clean. No scandals, just faded debts settled in talk. Jack rebuilt the pit, planting saplings over it. Rex flopped nearby, tail thumping. The cabin stood firmer in his mind now, not inheritance but anchor. Shadows lingered, sure, nights when old missions replayed, but these mountains demanded facing them raw. No teams, no orders, just him. Weeks blurred into routine. He fixed the roof, cleared trails, shared coffee with Voss on the porch. Milford thawed. Hargrove sold the mill fare, moved downstate. Trust mended slow, like rotwood patched. One evening as Hawks wheeled overhead, Jack found a hidden drawer in Grand's desk, a letter for him. Knew you'd come home strong. Fight the dark inside first, the rest follows. He folded it away. Rex nudged his hand. Peace wasn't promised. It was earned, ridge by ridge. The cabin held, the town breathed easier, and Jack, he stayed. If this story kept you on the edge, smash that like button. Subscribe for more cinematic tales. Share with someone who needs a thrill, and comment below. What secret would shock your hometown? Thanks for watching.